Hey, hello, and welcome back. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity, and this is another episode of the Getting to Clarity Show. This is the place where busy leaders come to get the tips, tools, and techniques that they need to create more success in their leadership with less sacrifice in their life. And today's Clarity Self-Leadership Brief is all about self-care as a leader. So let's dive into the topic. And let's start with why self-care is important. And I know you're thinking, yeah, I've heard it. I know. Okay, well, let's go a little bit deeper into this topic. You know, the thing is that you showing up as a leader in your organization, in your community, in your family even, it requires that you have a very strong foundation. So you have to be able to lead yourself first before you have any business leading anyone else. This is the topic that I take to audiences and organizations, and it's critically important and widely misunderstood. You know, the thing is that when you are not taking care of yourself, it is a sign of disrespect. It is a sign of disrespect to who you are as an individual. So essentially, the message that you are sending yourself, okay, let's start in the internal first, is that I'm not worth the care. I'm not deserving of it. And the thing is that other people pick up on this too. So when you are not taking care of yourself, essentially, you're sacrificing yourself. You're depleting yourself. You're running on fumes. And the thing is, people see it. It's hey, do what I say, not do what I'm doing, right? And it can build resentment on your end that you are giving, and not restoring. You know, not taking that opportunity to fill yourself back up. It leads to burnout. You know, and the thing is that people see this. This is your legacy. This is what you're passing on, is this is how work is done, that it's either work or you take care of yourself. It can't be both. And the thing is, here's a deeper question. I love to have you think differently. So the deeper question is, when you are pouring that much of yourself into your work and you're not taking care of yourself, it is a lot about identity. So questioning how much of your identity is associated with the work that you do, because you are so much more than that. If you've ever known someone who is retired and struggled, then you'll know what I mean, because they didn't know who they were outside of work. Do you know who you are outside of work? So what does self-care mean? So self-care is defined as a practice of taking action to improve one's own health. Practice is the key word there. Practice is something that you do consistently. It's not something that you do every once in a while. It's not something that you do that you hit the wall. It's not something that you do just when you get an illness or some sort of diagnosis or some other 2x4 health scare that comes your way. It is a consistent practice, something that you do regularly. It is not just your physical body either. It is not just getting your a massage or you know, it can be a lot of different things. It can be protecting you and your well-being from a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical aspect. So it's not just the physical body. Now, as a keynote speaker, going out to audiences all over the country, talking about self-leadership, how you build that foundation of who you are so that you then can go on to lead others. You have to be able to lead yourself first before you have any business leading anyone else. I hear from my audiences a lot of time, well, I just need to power through it. You know, I just need to be able to get through this. You may hear yourself saying that. I know I've done it before. There have been times where I have said yes to everyone except for myself, that I've not said no to anything. You know, sometimes you're afraid to say no, that there have been times where I haven't had boundaries. I didn't put things in place to protect me because of a fear of being judged. And I don't know if you ever find yourself in that place either, but I find that I have been there in the past, and I find that in my audiences. I hear this from the groups I speak with. And so the turning point is, my training in NLP and my studies in HUNA really caused me to be able to find the patterns when I was running that, so that I can pay it forward and help others find these patterns. So if this is you, self-care may be an issue that you want to look into. You may want to develop a practice around it. So, how do you do this? So let's focus on what to do for self-care, how you do it. And really that comes down to whatever it means to you at this particular time in your life, because it depends on what is going on personally and professionally. So what is going on at work? What do you feel yourself being pulled towards? What is it that you want to move away from? What is stressing you out? So kind of doing an evaluation of professionally, what is going on that you need to pay attention to? That's the first question. What is going on personally? So separate yourself from the work. And what is it that you as an individual need? What is going on in your life separate from the work? Paying attention to that. Here's another question. What is important and needs protection? If you've ever done the areas of life exercise with me, then you'll know what's important. And as a matter of fact, let's do this now. Write 1 through 6 in a column. And I'd like you to take the areas of life: career, what you do for work; spirituality, what you are connected to that is larger than you, God, universe, collective; health and fitness, anything that you do to improve the physical body; personal development, anything you do to improve yourself outside of the physical body; family, and that's how you get to define it. It could be close family, it could be extended family; and relationships. And relationships, again, get defined by you. Usually it's an intimate relationship, but if you don't have an intimate relationship, husband, wife, spouse, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., then relationships can mean something else. Maybe it's friendships. You get to decide. So taking those 6 areas of life, put them in order of importance and do it quickly, okay? Just whatever pops into your mind, put them in order. And then I want you to write 1 through 6 again and put them in order of how you spend your time, and then compare the 2 lists. You'll have an idea of what is most important to you and where that disconnect is. There could be some self-care that goes around that disconnect to help bring it back into more harmony for you. So let's expand what self-care could be for you. Spiritually, it could be meditation, out in nature, yoga, going to church. Mentally, it could be paying attention to your thinking, where your thinking goes. Is your head in the right space, or have you turned into a bit of a negative Nelly? And if you have, then go to last week's topic, and we talk about how to get out of that headspace. It is, thinking about your views on certain things. Are you going to potential, or are you going towards what is holding you back? So you're thinking emotionally, processing your emotions instead of stuffing them down and ignoring them and not letting yourself go there, letting them out in whatever way that has to happen. It could be journaling. It could be talking to a professional. It could be talking to a good friend. It could be just experiencing it. Working out to get rid of the emotion. And then finally, physically, exercise, food, sleep, water, taking care of yourself physically. So thinking about where the gaps may be in your self-care. Maybe it's that you don't have a practice at all. Even going beyond this, it could be things like asking for help, forgiving yourself, spending time by yourself, especially if you're an introvert. So as a keynote speaker, I go out and I travel and I speak to audiences of hundreds of people. And when I come home, I'm an introvert. I need that time by myself. I need to restore myself. So it could be spending time by yourself. It could be saying no. It could be setting and enforcing those boundaries. And believe me, if you do that areas of life exercise, you'll see where you need to enforce some boundaries. It could be asking for help, because you don't need to do this all by yourself. You don't need to figure it out all by yourself. And when you put yourself in that position, it creates stress. It could be putting yourself first. And maybe it's not in every single area of life, but maybe it's in one particular area of life, putting yourself first. I just went through a health and fitness journey where I donated 60 pounds back to the universe. Here you go. And I had to put myself first and go to my husband and say, I'm doing this for me. Things are going to change and I'm going to ask for your support. And he was so supportive during that journey. So what will you put in practice now going forward? Practice. What will you do regularly? It's not about doing everything that we talked about today, but it's about picking one thing and building a practice around that. And what I'd love for you to do is share below what it is that you do regularly and how it helps you. And what that does is it can inspire someone else to try the same thing to see if it would be successful for them. So I appreciate your comments below about what you do for self-care that works for you. And until the next time, here is wishing you all the clarity and the self-care that you deserve. Take care and bye-bye for now.